Welcome to the Speechie Show. Being a speech-language pathologist often means having too much work and not enough planning time. To beat the overwhelm, we're bringing you the tricks and tools that will make your job a little bit easier. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Speechie Show. We're trying this one more time. I'm Carrie Clark from SpeechAndLanguageKids.com, and I'm here today with Desiree from SLP Talk. How are you, Desiree?
I'm doing well. How are you, Carrie?
Doing all right. We are having some issues with our internet connectivity today and our brains, so hopefully this will continue to work. But we are here today on the Speechie Show to talk about what to do if you're having too many kindergarten referrals or just referrals in general, and how you can implement some school-wide programs and activities that are going to help improve communication across the board, which is great for Better Hearing and Speech Month, which is coming up right around the corner. So, if you are new to the show, I am Carrie Clark. I am your host. Each week we do this Speechie Show on Facebook Live, and I have a guest come on and talk about 5 tips for something that they are passionate about. And we do different topics each week. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to do some giveaways here in just a minute. So hang tight if you're watching with us live, or if you're watching the recording or listening to the recording on the podcast later. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. All right, so Desiree, why don't we go ahead and get started with you telling us a little bit about you and what you're up to these days.
Okay, well, I'm a school-based speech-language pathologist. I am currently in Ohio, and I've been practicing for 17 years. And I'm kind of passionate, I am pretty passionate about stepping outside of just your, metaphorical speech room per se, and really embedding yourself within the school community or whatever setting you're in, and becoming truly a team member.
Absolutely. That's great. Okay, if you're watching with us live, go ahead and comment in. Does your school have school-wide programs like this where you are working on communication skills with students other than your IEP students? Give me a yes or no in the comments. And while they're doing that, Desiree, can you tell us why is it important for us to be thinking about these school-wide types of approaches as opposed to just, I see my kids in the speech room?
Oh, gosh, it's so multifaceted. One is that, it's somewhat obvious, but is the fact that you get to know the staff and the students more, and you're not this enigma. You're not, either what is speech or where is speech. You're not an enigma. And so then I feel like from that, you get a better, positive response from the students. Of course, most of the students, when you go, regardless, are saying, pick me,
yeah.
Why didn't you pick me? But from the teachers as well, as far as getting more appropriate referrals, and then also understanding more of the scope of our practice and realizing that it's quite likely broader than they had anticipated.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, we're getting some comments in here. Looks like a lot of people saying no, that they are not doing these kinds of school-wide programs. Lindsay says, this is a great time for this. I've been trying to figure out what to do for May Speech and Language Month. Yeah, so May is Better Hearing and Speech Month, if you guys are not aware of that. And there's going to be all kinds of great social media campaigns going during that month. But this is a great thing to do to improve speech and language skills across the school, and to increase awareness about our field, what we do, like you said, our scope of practice, who all can we help in those classrooms. All right, so we're going to share with you 5 tips today that you can use to help try to create some of these programs and create some of this awareness and become part of that school community and part of that team. So the first one we're going to talk today about is using your resources. So Desiree, what does that look like for you?
Okay, so for me, using your resources is essentially looking at all of outside of our box and really collaborating with those teachers, finding out what's going on in the classroom, finding out what the need is as well, and utilizing those. As far as what we'll talk about a little bit too is did a language development zone in kindergarten. Currently doing it, I do it along with our Title I specialist. So we are a Title I school, and to be completely honest, the Title I specialist approached me and said, hey, how would you like to have your hands on every kindergartner, every other week? Because we'll split the class. And I said, absolutely. I work in a very low-income school. About 99% of our kids qualify for free and reduced lunch, and about almost a third of our population are English language learners. So for me, capturing that and putting in that intervention in place is going to be much more productive for my time to kind of determine who truly has a disorder versus needs that exposure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think a big part of that, like you said, talking to the teachers about what they need. Because if you come into the classroom and you say, hey, I've got this awesome new program, we're going to put it in your classroom and it's all this extra work for you. That's what the teachers hear. But if you say, okay, what do you need help with? What are you struggling with when it comes to communication? How can I support you? I feel like you're going to get way better buy-in, and they're going to be like, oh, this is an asset to me, as opposed to just one more thing on my checklist.
Absolutely. And your resources don't have to lie just in your building either. We've done a community greeter program where we had different members from the community who would come in and greet our kids in the morning and say hi, and it worked on those soft social skills with the entire school population, quite frankly. But it also brought people into our building to meet our kids and see how awesome they are and interact with them. And it introduced people to the building that may not have been there otherwise in just a casual way. Who wouldn't want to say hi to kids in the morning as they're coming in and feeling like absolute rock star? Because, yeah. Kids, if you could see them in Walmart and you would think that it's a celebrity sighting, right?
Oh, that's so cool. I love that idea. What a fun one. All right, let's see. We have a couple more comments coming in. A couple people that have done a little bit of this, did some whole class push in, pull out. Great. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. We're going to talk about some today. If you have other ideas of ways that you've used school-wide programs, go ahead and type those in the comments so that we can have a nice list of activities and programs going that we've done. Okay, so first one, use your resources. We've talked about that. The next tip we're going to share for you is looking for time within your day that you can maximize to do this. I know as speech-language pathologists, we are all super busy. We don't have a lot of time. Usually our caseloads are huge, but how can we work on working with the time that we already have?
Right. So, for example, the language development zone, like I said, the majority of our kids do qualify for free and reduced lunch. So all of our students eat breakfast at our building too, is what that means. So when they come in, as they come into school, then they're eating breakfast for that first, 20 minutes or so of their day. And so that's a great time where, for me to pull kids, I'm not sure when they're actually going to get, because there's a kind of a window as to when the kids come into school that's still okay, where they're not late. So I'm not going to schedule a group at that point in time because I don't know if they're there yet, and I'm certainly not going to take them away from breakfast. And, you can bring that along with you, but you know how that goes too. Yeah. So that time was kind of a time in my schedule that would work fantastic for this. And then also, with the Title I specialist, it worked for her in her time. And then it did have that, room as far as if I did have an IEP meeting or an evaluation team meeting. My Title I specialist has been phenomenal about, understanding that, hey, I might not be there this morning, but there are two of us, which is nice. And the way it works is we do it in the hallway. And so we have 5 kindergarten classrooms, which works out perfectly with the number. Just mathematically, it was perfect. And so half of the class will come out one week, and the other half comes out the following week. And we do it right there in the hallway. We set up some little different centers. It's very play-based, which is great because then people walking by can see it. You are not within your little box.
That's great. And so you just have language activities set up and you kind of guide the children through it?
Yes. I saw when I started, this is my first year at this particular building, and when I started, I noticed I had a lot of kids, they were a little older, that were following direction goals, but really the goal was, and within the goal, they didn't understand those basic concepts. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the basic concepts within it, and so I was trying to figure out what can I do that's going to help those kids before they even get to me. Because it was so systemic across the board. So that's where kind of went in, and we actually gave the basic concept screener from Smarty Years on my iPad, gave that screener to every student so I could have that data, which was phenomenal. It only took about 5 minutes per kid, and they would do the screener as they were coming out, as they were playing, so just kind of grab a kid here, grab a kid there. But I could take that data and determine which concepts the majority of kids were having trouble with. 78% of the kids didn't understand the concept of beginning. So I knew that's something that we have to work on. And that's so easy to embed and play. What are we going to do in the beginning? Or act out something and pretend play what happened in the beginning. So perfect.
All right, I'm going to link to the Smarty Ears app. Is that the screener that you're...
Yes, basic concept skill screener.
Okay.
And it prints out a beautiful report, too, so the data that I could get for it. The teachers, and now we're doing a post. We did pre in the beginning of the year, and now we're doing a post to compare that.
Oh, cool. That's really cool. So I'll link to that in the show notes over on the speechandlanguagekids.com blog. When this goes up, we'll do a little editing, and it'll come up in a week or two, and we'll stick that link on there as well. Okay, so we're talking about using your resources. We're talking about maximizing time that you're not really able to use for other things right now. So the next tip we're going to share is about digital portfolio tools. So tell us about that and how you use those.
Okay, like I said, with the, for example, the basic skill concept screener, that generates a report which I can then, what I use is, it's another app, so you probably have another app you're going to pop in your links, but, and it's a free app. It's called Seesaw, and it's just like it sounds, SEESAW. And what it is a digital portfolio that you can create for the students. What we did is our students in this regard for the language development zone are our teachers. So I have each teacher listed as a separate student. What it allows me to do is when we're out there and we're playing or we're engaged in activity or working on a specific concept, the kids can then talk about what they did. We take a quick video clip and it uploads to their digital portfolio. So the teachers can see what's going on there. The kids love it. Even, to be completely honest, if the teacher never watched that video clip, when you tell a student, I want to show Mrs. So-and-so all that they learned, has that accountability, and kids really love being on video. It might make us cringe, but they love it. So kind of able to do that where you can pull it all together is wonderful. And it's great for administration to be able to see, too, because you can tap into that and you have that proof, not that proof, but that substance behind what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and if you have an activity that you realize, hey, this is really something that a lot of our kids need to work on, you can share that quick video with the teachers, and then they can start implementing things like that in the classroom as well.
Right. And sometimes it's those aha moments that a kid has, and you're like, oh my gosh, look what they did. And you can capture that. And so they love that as well. And you don't have to do video. You can snap pictures of what they're doing as well.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Heather says she does whole class social skill lessons with classes that have her students with autism. That's another great way to get some program school-wide approaches to teaching those social skills, because usually those peers can support the children with autism as well in the classroom. All right. Lauren's having internet problems. We were too, Lauren. I feel ya. Okay, so the next tip we're going to talk about, and don't forget to stay tuned for the giveaways. We're doing giveaways in just a couple minutes, so if you're on live with us right now, we're going to do those in just a sec. But the next one is stepping outside your comfort zone. So what does this look like when it comes to these school-wide programs?
Well, essentially, don't be afraid to try something. There are so many programs that I don't do every single one every single year because it's just not feasible. But don't be afraid to step out and try something. Like I said, I tried this year. It worked great. The community greeter program worked phenomenal. A few weeks ago, I should say, my son's school was having a career day, and I happened to be on spring break that week, and they asked me to come in and be one of the speakers on speech pathology. So I thought, well, what can I do? And so I created this escape the speech room thing for them to all conquer to learn about our profession. But don't be afraid to just try something. Honestly, I think that's when we grow the most. I know I do, is when you kind of start to step outside that comfort zone and really challenge yourself. We ask our students to challenge themselves every day, and I think that it says something when we kind of continue to challenge ourselves as well and just continue that evolving world, because it is. I mean, the speech pathologist I was 17 years ago and the speech pathologist I am now are very different. For one, I wouldn't be doing a video and I was handwriting my IEPs.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and there's tons of resources out there of other people that are doing things that you want to be doing. So look for the people that have already done it and written blog posts or Teachers Pay Teachers products, and use what's there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but if you, like you said, if you step outside your comfort zone, you may find something that works so wonderfully that you don't know how you lived without before.
Absolutely.
All right, perfect. Simo says, good night from Spain. Good night. It's afternoon where I am. All right, so we have one more tip to share with you, and then we're going to go on to the giveaways and the resources. So last tip is using data. How do we use data with this kind of a program?
Okay, well, kind of like as I mentioned, and I'm kind of keep going to that language development zone just because it kind of lends to that. But with the data, like I said, spoke up to on the basic concept skills with Seesaw. I also, so about halfway through the year, I kind of then pulled out, thought, let me make this an articulation station to go along with that too. So I don't know if you can see, but I kind of had it propped up behind me.
Oh, yeah.
So I have one at school. I took this one, the mirror out of my daughter's room. You guys for today, so don't mind if the picture's a little wonky. But
can you hold it right up to your screen? I don't know if they can see it.
Oh, let's see. Let me try to hold it in front of me. Can you guys see better now?
Yeah. So there's pictures. There's pictures of speech sounds with mouth shapes all along the top here.
Whoops. Sorry.
And there they go.
I just taped it loosely since it was my daughter's hair.
Yeah.
Let me just get let me go this way. Here you go. That way you guys
can
see. And essentially the sounds just go from the front to the back of their mouth. I've used it in my own therapy room for the last several years, and the kids love it. I don't quite understand why they love it as much as they do, but they really do. And so they just go from the front to the back of their mouth, which is fantastic for those kids that are working on even like introducing that developmental R, which they don't necessarily have to have by kindergarten. But when I found that by introducing it in a way that they weren't targeting it as much as far as, especially, I don't know if you can see on the picture if it's close enough, but there's a little picture of my dog Zoe as far as getting them for when they get to R, say, whoop, and then ER, kind of more of a growl, so So kind of getting them to break that motor pattern because they aren't really thinking of it as a speech sound per se when they do that has made a huge difference. So the kids just kind of go through that, and the data for that what I do in the hallway is I just created a simple Google form. And so I'm thankful that I have a speech graduate intern this semester as well. So what she does when she comes down, she's only there a few days a week, but when she comes down to the language development zone, she will take the iPad and go through the Google form. We just check. We have the kids type in their name and then check as they go across the sounds as far as which letter sound recognition they have, and then also gives you that ability to prompt them. And the teachers love that data too. I just give them access to that form, and it helps them know what their students need. And like I said, the kids love it. It's just a really high interest one. I let them bring a little magic wand when they're done, and they really love it. But it keeps that data, again, is attached to it. It's just seamless into what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's not, tracking tallies or things of that nature per se, but it can kind of say, hey, this is where they were, this is where they are now. Look at this growth. And I'm not presumptuous enough to think that the basic concepts that they're all getting from this language development zone yet. I mean, we have phenomenal kindergarten teachers, so obviously they're getting that in the classroom as well, but it helps, see that growth because you have those kids that, maybe still really struggling, but you can at least see that they have grown, but maybe they haven't grown as much as their peers. It's, again, another data point.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's wonderful. So you were saying you have your speech therapy student go down and do that. Did you say with a Google document? Was that what it was?
Yes, I just created, I created a Google form.
Yeah.
That just has the different sounds, and we just click as they are able to identify it. And then it generates into an Excel document so we can see what sounds they have, what their student name is. But it just have it little check boxes. It's super quick and super easy to do at the same time.
Okay. Have you created that as like a Teachers Pay Teachers or anything that people can get from you?
No, I can very easily add it.
That's you should do that.
I created the articulation mirror, and you just kind of, it's, those things kind of evolve as you go.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I update the pictures and all of that.
Yeah.
And the format of those, but I can certainly add that on. That's no trouble at
all. Okay. So look for that in the future from the SLP Talk Teachers Pay Teachers store. And then are the mouth pictures for the mirror, are those in your Teachers Pay Teachers store?
Yes, those are. It's the articulation mirror is what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, those are absolutely.
Perfect. I'll pull the link on that one too. Or if you want it now, you guys can go over to teacherspayteachers.com. Is it just SLP Talk? Is that the name of your store?
SLP Talk with Desiree, yep.
There you go, SLP Talk with Desiree. All right, perfect. Okay, so now we're going to move on. We're going to do some resources and some giveaways. We've already talked about some really fun resources. We've talked about Smarty Ears app, the Seesaw app for digital portfolio. We've talked about the articulation mirror pictures on Teachers Pay Teachers. And let's see, did you have anything else that you wanted to add on that?
I do have the Escape the Speech Room. I figure since, obviously go through doing all that. And just my kind of way to pay it forward to all of us give us a little gift for Better Speech and Hearing Month. We're usually giving out everything to everyone else.
Yeah.
You guys as well. So I do have that if you go to my website, which is just SLPTalk with Desiree.com, I will, that's part of my newsletter. You'll get that whole document for free, and it's in over 65 pages. So it's
nice. Perfect. We got all kinds of resources for you guys today. This is great. Okay, so we're going to do a giveaway. What are you giving away today?
Today I was going to give away a copy of the Articulation Mirror.
Perfect.
Station.
Excellent. We're going to give away 1 copy of that. And we're also going to give away 2 free months in the Speech Therapy Solution, which is my membership program for speech-language pathologists. We have training videos, a monthly webinar, materials you can print out and go. I give you some help with your planning, set you up with an SLP survival kit, all kinds of fun stuff. So you can head over to speechandlanguagekids.com/join if you want to check out that. But we are going to give away 2 free months today to the second person to answer my question right now. The first person to answer is going to get the articulation mirror set. So here we go. Are you guys ready? All right, this is according to the NIDCD. So of children who have communication disorders, who are more likely to actually get services, boys or girls? We're doing some trivia today. Usually I do a no-brainer, but we're doing trivia. So the first 2 people to be correct are the ones that win. We'll see here. All right. Heather Kelly McKay says boys. Heather, you are correct. And Lauren Nicole also says boys. Yes. Okay. So 59% of boys with communication disorders get services. Only 47% of girls with communication disorders get services. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Do you think, I wonder if it's behaviorally, if you notice it more, if it manifests more into behaviors, or they're more apt to kind of show those?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, is like it seems like it probably becomes more of an issue. Like girls can compensate more. I don't know. Is that sexist?
I feel like just, maybe a little bit more passive with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, that was kind of fun. Lindsay thinks behavioral too. Okay, let's see. So Heather Kelly McKay, you are the winner of the articulation mirrors. How do you want her to contact you?
What works best for you? I can, if you want to, she can email me.
What's your email address?
It's Desiree. Oh gosh, I better spell that. DESIRE.SLPTalk@gmail.com.
Perfect. All right. So Heather, you can contact there. And Lauren Nicole, you won the 2 free months in my membership. You can email me at Carrie@speechandlanguagekids.com, and that's CARRIE. And my assistant Kenna will get you set up. Let's see. I think Julie said girls. Everyone else is saying boys. All right, perfect. Well, I hope that helped you guys today. Get your head around some ideas of how you can be incorporating these communication things into your whole school. Hopefully this helps you out with Better Hearing and Speech Month. You can get some of those things started. Shared a lot of good resources to get you going as well. And thank you, Desiree, so much for joining us today and sharing all those tips.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It was a great time. I appreciate it.
And where can people find more about you?
Okay, I'd say the best place would probably be my website, which is SLPTalkwithdesiree.com. And from there, you can find my Instagram, Facebook, Teachers Pay Teachers. They all link from there. So that's probably the easiest landing spot for that.
Yeah, that's your hub. All right. Perfect. And don't forget to head over to speechandlanguagekids.com and see more of the Speechie Show. You can also find out information about our ebooks and the membership program, the Speech Therapy Solution. Join us next week. We have Susan Berkowitz is coming on. She's going to talk about how to teach AAC. So join us next Monday afternoon on Facebook Live for that. All right. Thank you all and have a wonderful day. Bye. Thanks for joining us today on The Speechie Show. We hope today's tips have helped you feel a little less stressed and a little more confident about your work. If you're looking for more stress busters and confidence boosters, we'd love to have you join us in the Speech Therapy Solution, where you'll get access to a huge library of premium training videos and another library of print and go therapy materials. You can also get help with your tough cases by joining Carrie on the weekly Q&A calls or by posting in the exclusive Facebook group. Plus, group members can join us for a monthly webinar that can be used for continuing education credit. Head on over to speechandlanguagekids.com/join to check out all the amazing benefits of the Speech Therapy Solution membership. Bye for now.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. My website and blog is speechlanguagepirates.com. I'm on Facebook, same name, and Teachers Pay Teachers, same thing, Speech Language Pirates.